सुपरस्टार के खिलाफ लगातार
ये इंसान किसी इंसान के सामने नहीं झुक सकता जरूर साहब। झुकेगा तो उसकी चौखट पे या उसके दरबार में झुकेगा।
हम में से कुछ लोग उन्हें विजय के नाम से भी जानते हैं। उनके कहने का अंदाज
I'm so excited. I forgot that first I would like to present that award to him and I request RITR to be here. Well, it can happen to me also. I'll also request our district trainer to quickly come up.
Bhaskar.
And where is my team?
अरे दोस्त क्या कर रहा है? एलसीडी तोड़ेगा।
But friends, outstanding contribution and influence on Indian cinema over 4 decades presented at this district conference on behalf of all of you, my friends, to Amitabh ji. Yes, friends, the person really deserves this. And I want to share with you one thing. 1.5 years back, when we decided to do the conference, at that time, I had 2 people in mind to have here at the conference. One was Mr. Modi and one was Mr. Amitabh. I think, sir, you may have to speak half an hour. Well, sir, on this occasion, when you are here, we, the Rotarians of 3140 and Rotary Club of Bombay Pier, are going to must tell you that this is really a special occasion for all of us. It will be wonderful to hear more of him than he.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And a very warm welcome to all the Rotarians that are here today. I'd like to first thank Rotary International and this organization for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to be in your company. I was told that I was going to be a part of a panel discussion. I hadn't realized that I would have to make a speech. But having come here, I just want to say how very proud the Rotary organization has made us today. And by us, I mean the Film Fraternity of India, for giving us this recognition, for accepting us as a part of your valuable society, and for giving us the dignity and respect that you give to all other communities and all other works, corporates, people in high offices. I say this because 50, 60 years ago, the film industry was looked upon as something that was infra-dig, something that was looked down upon. Children from good homes were never allowed to enter the movies. I myself remember in my early years, when I wanted to go and see a film, my parents would go and wet the film before I could go and see it. But here today, I feel very privileged to have been invited in the capacity of a small member of a fraternity that has, I believe, now almost become a parallel culture of the country. I may be wrong in saying so, and I'm sure that the purists will perhaps not like what I'm saying. But I think that Indian cinema today has spread its wings beyond Indian shores. We have been identified not just within our country but also without our country. I feel that Indian cinema has always adhered to our culture. We have had the liberty of creativity. We present our films to create entertainment. Sometimes we are often criticized with the quality of our films, with what we show. But I think that when entertainment is the basic value behind all our cinema, we have to worry about the common man. And when he works and slogs the entire day, earning a very meager salary, for him to come and see a film is like wanting to forget his meager conditions, his poor conditions, and spend those 3 hours seeing and enjoying something that is light-hearted, which is full of music, wonderful colors, wonderful story. And that is what we feel is a contribution to the common man. But never have we digressed from what we call certain basic cultures of our society. We've always shown that evil shall not prevail. Good will always overtake evil. We have shown great respect, dignity and responsibility towards our family relationships. Husband and wife, father and son, mother and daughter, brother and sister. These values have always been incorporated in our cinema, and I feel very proud of it. One very important factor of Indian cinema has been something that I learned from my father. During his last years, he would every evening sit and watch a DVD of one of my films. And I used to keep asking him, why is it that you keep watching every evening a Hindi film? And he said, I get to see poetic justice in 3 hours. In our cinema, you will always find that poetic justice is done. You and me will not get poetic justice in a lifetime, perhaps several lifetimes. But Indian cinema provides poetic justice for you in 3 hours. And that really is the greatness of what cinema is all about. We're here ready to discuss with a panel of speakers. I have Mr. R. Balki here, whose film we are working on right now. The name of the film is called Amitabh, and it's releasing on the 6th of February. I've had the great honor and privilege to be with him in 2 of his earlier products. One was Chini Kam and the other was Spa, and I do believe that he has he's always had a very different, a very refreshing approach towards cinema, and Amitabh is no less. I don't know how he thinks about it, but he has a different mind, a very ingenious mind, and I really want to compliment him today for being with us, and hopefully we'll join you in a conversation a little later. I'm really delighted to be here, and I do want to get along with this panel discussion. Thank you once again for having me here and for giving me all your love and affection and the wonderful words that were spoken by the gentleman before me. I am least deserving of it, but thank you so much. Omar has been a very prominent journalist from the film fraternity, and I've had to face many awkward questions from him throughout my career. So I hope that he will behave himself tonight and not put us into some kind of embarrassment. Omar, you're a dear friend and I really respect you, and I'm saying all these wonderful words to you with the hope that you will not embarrass us today. Thank you.
I hope I remain a dear friend after the interview. Mr. Bachchan, I would like to ask you for a man.
I think when I was doing interviews for our promotional film, Amitabh, that's due to release on the 6th of February, we talked about the story of the film. It's about 2 individuals. Each one of them possesses a different quality. Something that one has, the other doesn't have. And how a journalist comes in between and brings these 2 people together so that jointly they can move ahead in life and be successful. And when they do that, they they realize that ego comes in. And that's how the conflict arises between the two individuals. And the rest, of course, I hope you will go and see the cinema to find out the story. And the moment you talk about ego, then the obvious question, as you rightly put, Kumar, is what is ego? I've always believed that, the people want to know whether there is ego in the film industry and whether these kind of situations arise. I've never felt it in my career, and I doubt very much if there are others that have the same qualities. I don't seem to have it, because I believe that if you talk about ego, then you're talking about how important you are, how valuable you are, and you give a certain mark to yourself, a certain standard to yourself. I don't believe that I'm deserving of that standard, because I think that in the creative field, every day, every moment that we are trying to create, we are trying to do something different, trying to do something progressive. There can never be a standard, there can never be a satisfaction. Many a times people ask me, are you satisfied with what you've done? And I have to say no. Because if I was going to be satisfied with my creativity, then I might as well die, because that's the end of my career. So I think that people will have an ego if they consider themselves to be important, to be the ultimate, and that there is no further space after that. And for me that is wrong, because I know that I'm not the ultimate. I have a lot of space ahead of me, and I need to work more. She's apart from being the Chief Minister, she's also a very dear friend. And friends are allowed to make such complimentary remarks. I'm not deserving of it. I know that I'll never get it, but she's been very generous and kind. All I can say is thank you, but no thank you.
Well, friends, I have a question to ask all of you.
Mr. Bachchan, you're a man of ritual, and your Sunday ritual is loved, and whenever you're in town, you make it a point to come to your balcony and say hi to everyone. Like, how do you make time for it? I thought Sunday is a Sabbath.
Yeah, as soon as I finish this Rotary, I'll go back home and I'll make time for it. Now, every Sunday, fortunately, ever since my accident in 1982, when I almost lost my life, people come on Sunday at my door, at my gates, and they just want to see me, just like they would want to see any other star or anyone connected with the film industry. And I just go out and meet them, and this has been carrying on from 82 onwards. That's more than 30 years. Every Sunday, they collect outside my house, and I just go out and wave, meet a few people, sign a few autographs. I think that's the least that I can do, and I'm very grateful and thankful to them. I've always believed, ladies and gentlemen, that during the time when I was ill in 1982, it was the prayers, the duas, the well wishes of all the people of this country that prayed for my life. And if I am sitting here in front of you, they are the ones that are responsible for me. I think that by the end of the day, I spend a little time on social media. I write a blog. I'm on Twitter and Facebook. It's been a wonderful experience. It's given me an opportunity to interact with people personally. Before the social media came into prominence, we never had any kind of medium to be able to connect with our fans or people who wanted to talk to us. And I'm not saying that they would necessarily want to say complimentary things. There are many times now on the social media where you get criticism, you get accusations, you get abuse. But I think that if you are wanting to communicate with people, then you should be aware that this is the liberty that you give the people of the country, or the people that come onto the social media, to express themselves. I do not mind that. I do not block abuse, because you can't be perfect. No one is perfect. And I'm very happy that people find the wrongs that I do and make suggestions of how I can correct myself. And I appreciate that and I welcome that. But yes, I do find time every day. I'm now on day 2,479 days on the block. That's every day. I haven't dropped a single day. I'm 1,750 on Twitter, number of days on Twitter, and 849 days on Facebook.
Mr. Bachchan, but no tea, no coffee, you're vegetarian, no aerated waters, you don't smoke.
See, I told you this guy is going to push me into some voice. No, it's got nothing to do with health. It's just something that I didn't want to do. I just stopped doing it. It's not as though that I haven't consumed alcohol or I haven't smoked. Yes, when you're young, you do everything. But I just felt that I didn't need it. Life itself is the biggest intoxication that anyone can have. So I don't need alcohol.
Your voice is your PQ, your power quotient, and it's been used very effectively by Balke. Balke, I want to ask you, like, what do you have for breakfast? Like crazy.
Yeah. Every time he brings a new script to me, I think, you know, this guy's been drinking something or smoking something, which is... but when you get down to hearing the entire idea, you realize his brain works differently. And I admire his brain and his thinking and his thought process. All his stories have been away from the normal commercial escapist cinema that most of us have grown up on and still grow on. He's always had something different to say, whether it is in Chini Kam, an elderly man showing his affection to a younger girl, wanting to marry her, his own age being more than the age of the girl's father. It's not as though these situations perhaps don't exist, but it's just that sometimes you don't get to see them in cinema. Then he made me into a 13-year-old kid in the next film, Pa, where he made me a child suffering from progeria. And I used to ask him, you know, how are you ever going to make me look 13 years old? And then we had some wonderful prosthetic makeup put on me, and it somehow worked. And then he threw another bomb. He said, you know, I'm going to make your son play your father. So Abhishek played my father's role. But you know, it worked, and it was wonderful the way it was structured. Now we have Shamital, which is, without giving too much away of the story because the film is yet to release, where I give my voice to another character. So Dhanush is the other artist, the leading man of the film. He is Rajnikant's son-in-law. He's married to Rajnikant's daughter. And we have Akshara, who's playing her first role in this film. She is Kamal Hassan's youngest daughter. So there's a lot of creative input in this film of ours. So Akshara, who plays the journalist, is going to bring these two talents together so that Dhanush can use my voice and achieve success. And that's how this whole story is woven. But I think that if I may go a step further, I don't know whether Balke has given me the permission to do so. I think that it's not just about voice. I don't think it's just about one character playing somebody else. I think it's a very profound statement about cinema in India. And I do hope that if some of you do go and see that film, that you will be able to realize the very fine subtleties that are there in the film. It's a film just like any other film that India makes. But it also has a commentary, it has a comment, it has substance which perhaps you will notice is really extremely profound as far as our cinema is concerned.
Mr. Bachchan is very scared. Like if you were his voice right now, is he thinking of someone?
Yeah, he's thinking, I've spoken too much, it's time for him to speak.